Good morning, gang. Happy Friday morning. So, after about 3 inches of snow here, roads got a little sloppy, but no power loss, no nothing. So, it was good. But, crack of dawn here and time to get things going. So, with everything going on in Kazakhstan right now, there's supposedly at least 18 police officers and military servicemen who've been killed in clashes, and then about 750 law enforcement have received various injuries in the protests, riots, whatever you want to call them. The ruling authority is currently what the Kazakh government is calling terrorist gangs. Now, no numbers have been released to about the deaths of civilians as of yet, but you can bet there's going to be plenty. All right. So let's think about ourselves in an SHTF situation. Right now, today, the world exactly the way it is, would you be comfortable walking into any of these places during the day, or God forbid, the night? South side of Chicago, Compton, California, East Harlem, New York, East St. Louis, Illinois, the Jungle in Galveston, Gary, Indiana, 7 Mile Road in Detroit. Okay. You see, those areas do exist. Okay. And people actually live there. In an SHTF situation, what areas do you think are going to collapse first? In SHTF, you can guarantee that no aid is coming to areas such as these from anywhere. I mean, who's going to provide it? The Red Cross? The police? The military? The government? No chance. All right. The people that live in these areas will be completely on their own, left to their own devices for survival in an area that was extremely dangerous even before the balloon went up. Now those areas are ticking time bombs. And whether any of us care to admit it or not, there's an area like this near all of us. Okay. We, as preppers, we talk about marauders and what we do when we're presented with a band of them. Okay. And most of the time we paint the picture of hungry, armed people who want to steal your rice or get warm in your house, kicking you out, of course. And we all think we have time to prepare for small bands like that. We all talk about our mags and the plans we have for security, for defense, for cooking, for cleaning, for medical. And we all say we're missing some critical component. Every one of us. I don't care if you're an Uber prepper, okay? Everybody says they're short in some area within their mag. Everybody admits it. I don't have somebody who knows medical. I don't have somebody who knows how to hunt and trap, whatever would be, okay? Everybody says they're short something. There's one group that's completely ready for societal collapse and chaos. The criminals, okay? They live in that environment daily. They have more experience living in this than any of us could ever hope to. Or not really hope to, but ever have, okay? I don't care if you've done 10 tours in Afghanistan and Vietnam. These groups are more organized, better armed, and more tightly bound as a group than Al-Qaeda and the VC combined. Okay. Laws and rules mean nothing to them. Ever have. They certainly aren't going to be in an SHTF situation. They really don't care. Okay. What do you think is going to happen when shit hits the fan? They aren't interested in being polite. Don't ask them, or don't expect them to ask to buy and barter for your food or your ammo. They're going to take what they want, when they want, how they want, whether it be your food, your ammo, your car, your daughter. Okay? Remember, they're experts in survival. Their whole world consists of living under chaos. Then add to the fact that a lot of them have done stints in the prison system. Not exactly what you'd call a safe place to be, but affiliations are made there with groups to help them survive, and of course they got a crash course education in survival. Now, the more violent the criminal, the more they're all ready familiar with living with violence. Okay, this means they're not going to hesitate to harm or kill others to get what they already want. Most of the neighborhoods we live in, okay, is basically a polite society. We follow the rules, we pay our taxes, we live in these nice neighborhoods or out in the country, pretty much oblivious to the world that's on the other side of the tracks, okay, except for what we maybe see on the news. Every week there's another story about how many shootings there were in Chicago over the weekend. We just glaze over, okay. There were well over a dozen cities, I think it was like 16 or 18, that had record numbers of murders in 2021 in the U.S. And to most of us, it was just a statistic, right? We all feign shock and horror about it. But within 5 minutes, we go back to drinking our beer and watching our Netflix, okay? Left and right alike, okay? This doesn't matter, okay? Nobody, everybody claims to care about what's going on in Chicago, but nobody's doing anything about it. So that tells me that nobody cares, okay? We all operate on the NIMBY principle. Not in my backyard, okay? As long as the crime doesn't interfere with your life, it's not something you worry about too much. We're all guilty of that. Me too, okay? But in an SHTF situation, that all changes. Suddenly, every square inch of the U.S. or any other country is South Central, and now you live right in the middle of it. Think about this. These are some of the largest gangs in the U.S., and whether you care to admit it or not, they are represented in your area. La Cosa Nostra, okay? The Italian Mafia. Based out of New York, they've got 25,000 members across the country. They know a little bit about organization, okay? The Crips, based out of L.A., 35,000 across the country. The Bloods, again, L.A., 25,000 across the country. The 18th Street Gang, L.A. again, 65,000. The Aryan Brotherhood out of California, 20,000. The Latin Kings out of Chicago, 43,000. Let's not even bring up MS-13. That's 70,000. Okay? Those are some of the largest gangs in the U.S. That doesn't even include groups like the Mexican Mafia, the drug cartels, the Yakuza, the Russian mob, the Serenos, and hundreds of others worldwide, okay? I mean, just think about this. MS-13's motto is kill, rape, and control. 70,000 guys running around with that in their head, okay? The Aryan Brotherhood, they're responsible for 21% of the murders in the United States, whether you knew that or not. Okay. The movies all seem to romanticize Teotihuacan with some family story or love story, but reality is the dangers we could see are bad or worse than what any grizzled combat vet's seen. Okay. There's not going to be air support to call in. There isn't going to be a medevac chopper that comes to get you if you've been injured. This is going to be the Wild West mixed with street justice. These are the kinds of marauders that you need to prepare for. The ones who don't have a heart and the ones who don't have a soul. There's going to be no human compassion in them at all. There's not going to be a whole lot of human compassion for outsiders in SHTF, period. Okay? I mentioned La Cosa Nostra. Okay. At least the mafia has an honor code. Street gangs don't. Their only honor is to the gang. Okay. What would your reaction be when you see 8 people hanging from an overpass or find a body with their throat slit and their tongue there? Okay. Remember this? Only a couple of weeks ago, the LAPD came out and said, "Don't come to LA. We can't protect you." This is normal time, guys. This is not an SHTF situation. And the cops are already saying they can't protect us. LA just had the balls to come out and say it in public, okay? Criminals will rule during the chaos of societal collapse. There's no question about that, okay? The military is not going to be able to help. They're going to be dealing with problems of their own, like invading forces, okay? As SHTF accelerates, The shock of what society has become will be the thing that kills people more than anything else. Okay? Gang violence is going to rule supreme. There's going to be a lot of people who go, suicide's the best way out. Okay? Those who live their entire lives in safe little bubbles, believing the police should always be there to protect them, are going to be soft targets for the aggressive, violent, hardened criminals who will very quickly take over and rule entire cities. Eventually, they're going to spread out to the countryside, so no one's going to be safe. But in the immediate aftermath of the balloon going up, be it financial collapse or grid down or war, those in the cities will inevitably be eradicated quickly. For some, that's probably going to be a better fate. I hate to say that, okay? If you don't think training for something like this is important, ask yourself, and be honest, how you're going to cope when the criminal element actually does take over. Because they will. Pinball out.